Hey, yo.
Hi, buddy.
Hey.
Sorry about that.
I guess we're technically live, but I didn't get us on Rumble because we needed to set up the Rumble stream.
Really? Because it said Rumble was okay earlier today. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. I'll add it in 1 second. But we're technically, I think, live.
Are we live?
We're just bullshitting here.
Guys, we're just hanging out. Hanging and banging. Karate,
I think, check your mic setting. You might be coming through your computer as opposed to your microphone.
Hold on, dude. Just be cool, bro.
I'm chilling.
Just be cool, dude. All right. We should be good to go. You can add. Okay.
There we go.
Says I'm on my. Oh, I know why.
Because
I wasn't talking to the proper
there
spot.
We should be on.
Where am I right now? Oh, shoot. Let me enter.
You're in there. So you're not on the screen yet. Well, I didn't start the show. I didn't play the theme music or anything
Here
yet.
I am.
All right. So
why can I hear me? Hold on. There we are.
There you go. You want to start the show?
Yes. Start.
You want to start this show? Let's do this. Here we go.
The strange, the bizarre, the funny, and the sad. In a world of algorithmic nightmares, these are the stories you find when you scroll too long. All the facts, all the absurdity, none of the fluff. This is Doomscrollin with your hosts, Sam Tripoli and Midnight Mike.
Oh, we're in it, guys. You guys have no clue. The forces I had to battle to be here basically on time. And I am proud to be here. The weeks fly now thanks to Doomscrollin. Doomscrollin every week. We're hanging and banging. We're getting in there. Welcome to the most educational hour on the internet. I am Sam Tripoli. This is the master of all technology.
Ooh. So you better hang
Midnight
on.
Mike. You better. Hey, what is that from? I got asked, what's that from?
So, that is from World's Wildest Police Chases, and the host is John Burnell. So somebody on Instagram asked me the same question. So that's a TV series that was on Fox from 1998 to 2002. And he just...
So keep your eyes open.
He was known for that. And that person who asked me, he had some... He gave us an audio review of the podcast, too. So we can play that.
Was it a good audio review? Did someone say something nice about us?
Liked the show, but he had some criticisms of the last show and some content. So when we have time, if we have time, we can play.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't criticize us, my friend? People who are a part of our premium content. You can go be part of the Piss Army, part of the Swarm. Go to samtripoli.com, get that premium content. And where can they get your premium content, Midnight Mike?
Oh, they just can go to obdmpod.com. All the links there to get to the YouTube, all that stuff, and the Patreon. It's all there on obdmpod.com. And it's all happening over there. Like I had somebody not understand how to find us on YouTube. And OBDM doesn't go on YouTube a lot because all of our stuff gets taken down. We get strikes.
It really sucks. It really sucks. They just want dumb on there, or you just got to play some stupid game. But you know what? We're outlaws. We play by the rules. And we want to thank Mando Harpman for the $10 super chat. Super chats get read on the show. Let's Doomscroll.
We have to do it. There's no other time. But right now,
it's necessary.
By the way, the wheel is so packed full
Look
of
how
videos.
skinny those slices are. There's so much. I want to thank Dana Marshall. Coffee and water, please. Here we go. Let's scroll.
Let's do it.
I pee on myself 15 times a day.
Do you wear a diaper?
No, because
I don't like them to fit us.
I don't want the guy to touch my butt and feel a diaper. That little noise when you wear.
I'm talking about cloth diapers.
Megan and Vanessa playfully joked that the world needs to create a special kind of diaper designed for plus-sized individuals. One that is not only functional, but also sexy and comfortable.
Sounds logical, doesn't it?
I mean, dude, there's on the list of problems. I don't know how high that is up there. How high, like if we got 1,000 problems, where does that fall? Is it even in the top 1,000 problems? Midnight Mike.
I think it ranks up there. There's a lot of overweight Americans due to our food, our culture. So I think it's as time progresses, we're going to need more and more diapers for people. It's just the way it is in this society. It was rumored that Trump wears a diaper too. So it's a very presidential problem.
If he can do it, we can all do it. Mark, the booker, gives a great comment. He stopped watching Jeopardy for this. So, obviously, this is very important.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Don't get fired today.
Don't get fired, Mark, today, please.
Here we go, people. We're going to do it.
I'm going to say that was a great video.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to ease us in.
It's a good way to start it off with a nice little chuckle.
Yeah.
Did Jim Carrey to prepare for The Grinch by subjecting himself to real CIA torture tactics?
Jim Carrey's costume in The Grinch was so unbearable, he underwent CIA torture training just to get through it.
Are they just straight up saying this is about MK Ultra, Project Monarch, all the things?
Seems like a ritual to me, for sure.
Nobody should be surprised that guy underwent some kind of CIA torture program. And that's why, again, he seems really disturbed. Really talented at what he did, but I mean, sometimes you got to wonder if there was more to it, that he was so good at emulating people and changing his voice and just being, like, really getting into character. I wonder if that's how he got into character.
Or he was embodying demonic spirits.
Is that so he could embody this Grinch spirit?
They come up to me in the street and, their parent says, "You know who that is? That's the Grinch." And I go,
I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming.
And their parents go, "Oh, I thought it was makeup."
It's all demonic. It's demons, guys. It's demons.
I just got to say, JT Files JC is one of the best content creators in the biz, and we love him very much. Now, that's crazy. And like, here's the whole thing also. When you're an actor for decades, you start to go a little crazy because you're constantly playing other people. I think that's Harrison Ford. Have you ever seen Harrison Ford talk? He's got a weird piercing, and he just seems to be like in the mud, like just spinning his wheels. So
Harrison Ford, at this point in his career, he wants to die.
Yes.
Like he doesn't enjoy living. In my opinion, from the interviews I've seen of him, he wants to die.
Yeah, he does not seem happy. That plane crash seemed a little too convenient for him.
And as for Jim Carrey, real quick, and the whole CIA mind control and getting, like, wanting to get used to being tortured, essentially. It was rumored that early on in Jim Carrey's career, he wrote himself a check for $1 million.
Oh, damn.
In order to build that manifestation, to see the end goal. This is before, like, right when he got to Hollywood, right before he moved to Hollywood, he wrote himself that check as a goal. And that's what he determined he would be worth per movie. And he surpassed that. And
way past that.
He's a goofy guy, but he dipped out of Hollywood. He does pretty interesting paintings now. And maybe he just saw the darker side of Hollywood and said, "I'm out."
I have a friend of mine who thinks he's the head of the Hollywood Satanic Church.
Oh, I can see that. Sure. That works too.
James thinks that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so he moved up. He got promoted.
Yeah, he's running shit. They all go a little crazy. Fame will watch what you wish for. Yeah. Here we go. Spin it.
Living in Canada, 15-year-old genius William Gaduri made a historical discovery thanks to his deep admiration for the Mayan civilization. Gaduri unearthed a lost Mayan city by proposing the theory that the Mayans were inspired by the stars in the sky when building their cities. Gaduri's incredible journey began with his examination of 23 different Mayan constellations. As a result of his studies, he realized that 117 Mayan cities surprisingly matched the positions of these constellations. However, when he discovered that a city was missing in a constellation, this fueled the young explorer's curiosity even more. Combining satellite images from the Canadian Space Agency and Google Earth images, Gaduri revealed a hidden city deep in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, where the position of the 23rd star indicated. The lost city discovered by the young explorer includes a magnificent 86-meter-high pyramid and more than 30 ancient structures. This discovery shed light on unknown aspects of the Mayan civilization and enabled Gaduri to write his name in history with his determination and intelligence.
Wow, that's fantastic. This kid is like a modern-day explorer using Google and just intuition. What an amazing young man.
These kids are so farther along than I am.
Yeah.
Than I was at that age.
He's doing something productive with his life. He's in the history books now, and God knows what else he's going to discover. He could save planet Earth at some point in time.
At some point, he could save us, civilization. Keep an eye on that kid. He's got great things happening. When the aliens attack, he might be our only hope.
Don't take him to a strip club, or else he's going to lose focus. He's going to lose focus. We need him to save us.
Keep that kid off OnlyFans.
Breaking news, everything is bad. It's just as terrible as you imagined, and probably worse. With more, we go to Tom Lee Cruz. Tom Lee.
We're all in danger, Dan Lee.
Jesus Christ, what can we do?
Absolutely nothing.
It was good knowing you, Tom Lee.
I can't say the same.
That was unnecessary. We're just now getting in reports that all the children have exploded. They will be missed. Let's check in with Olivia Lee Rodrigo. Olivia Lee, where are you?
That's none of your business. Do you hear that? Cut the music. Do you hear that?
What do you hear?
That's the sound of us slowly dying. Can you hear it?
I can hear it. It's louder in my left ear.
Olivia Lee Rodrigo reporting
I
from
actually
where
have some
I
more
am.
questions for you. Okay, we're going to go to Kevin Lee Costner, who has more with politics.
No, I don't.
Let's send it over to our senior correspondent, Nicole Minaj.
Look at this chart. Let's bring it up.
What am I looking at here?
I don't know, but it doesn't look good.
That looks bad.
Yeah, it's probably bad.
Let's go to our eye in the sky, Timothy Chalamet. Timothy.
Man, I am so high up right now.
You are in a helicopter.
I didn't know that when I got in. I thought it was a weird car.
What do you see up there?
Everything. It's too much. We were never supposed to see this. I need to go back down.
You stay right there. We're going to go to commercial.
Have you recently lost a child because they exploded? Because that's crazy. How are we all not talking about this? I feel like that really got glossed over real quick. That's a huge thing. Call Tedley. 555 call Tedley. I want to talk about this. Call Tedley now.
And we're back. Let's check in with Morgan Lee Freeman with sports. Morgan Lee.
I just want to take this sports time to say that whatever you hear about me in the next 24 hours is completely false. People are going to say things and have documents and recordings to back up what they say, and it's just not real. You should believe me and not their solid evidence. Knicks take it by 2.
This is when champions are born. We're going now to Frankly Sinatra with the weather. Frankly.
It's everywhere.
We won't be hearing from him anymore. Coming up, a cat learns how to water ski and then drowns.
Now, I don't have that clip. I'd like you to send to me because I'm going to make a brave. I'm going to state it, dude. That's up for clip of the year.
It could be. We're going to mark that down. In fact,
mark that. Send that to me. I'll put it in the folder of clip of the year. At the end of the year, we'll go over to clips of the year. We will nominate, and then we will award clip of the year.
And they might get a gift certificate to Arby's. Who knows?
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see, dude. We would like to work with Arby's. So if anyone from Arby's is watching, please contact
help
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, help us out. We will push Arby's. We'll push roast beef.
They need all the help they can get.
They do need help. You guys are hurting. You know it, and I know it. This podcast is on the rise. Okay? Please join us.
Here we go, Wheel of Doom.
Grand Canyon is not just an American sightseeing location. There are strange and dark secrets that lie within. Some have even encountered a gateway to a hidden world. In 1909, the Arizona Gazette published an article about an expedition funded by the Smithsonian. This expedition was led by a man named G.E. Kincaid, and he discovered an ancient underground city within the Grand Canyon. But here is where it gets interesting. This city was filled with artifacts from ancient Egypt, hieroglyphs, statues, and even a pyramid. How did ancient Egyptian relics end up in Arizona over 5,000 years ago? Is it possible that they had access to flight? But it gets even stranger. The Smithsonian seized all the artifacts and shut down any further exploration, which led to 90% of the Grand Canyon being restricted till this day. The canyon is home to numerous hidden caves and tunnels, many holding ancient treasures and technologies. Many adventurers used to report seeing strange lights and sounds coming from these depths. The Hopi tribe, a tribe native to the region, speak of sacred underground cities known as the Sipapu. These cities are believed to be gateways to the underworld, holding powerful energies that should never be disturbed. All this makes us wonder, what else is hiding in the Grand Canyon?
What else is hiding there?
You ever been there?
No, but I would like to go.
Me too. I lived in Arizona for a few years, and I did not go because I took it all for granted. I did.
Yeah. And when you get there, what are you going to do?
Apparently, it changes your perspective on reality and Earth. It opens you up. There's like a transcendental state that you fall into, and you just appreciate the majesty of this entire place, this realm that we're in.
Okay, I respect that, dude.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, dude. I would like to go. I just know that history is a lie, no matter how much they try to shadow ban me. And I mean, the Grand Canyon is in fact that.
So this particular story, it's written about quite often. And in particular, the book I read, there's two. One is by David Hatcher Childress or something like that.
Yeah.
Good author. And then there's a couple others. But this whole suppressing history and relics and artifacts basically from the late 1800s to early 1900s. And this includes not only relics from like Egypt and things like that, but like giant skeletons that they would find. It all falls under like the Powell doctrine, which is like the Masonian, one of the first directors of the Masonian, and they called it the Powell doctrine. Now it's not officially called that, but it was what do we find out there, and if we find something that doesn't fall in line with like typical mainstream Christianity and what we want the narrative to be, then we just package it up, put it in a warehouse, and people will never hear of it.
And if
again.
it changes our understanding and our paradigms, they don't want it out.
Yeah.
They like to hide all of it, dude. Let's raid the Vatican, dog.
Someone's got to do it. We have a new pope over there, and maybe he will
release everything.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm not terribly optimistic, but who knows? He's an American.
Me too. He's from Chicago. They don't release anything.
Oh, yeah.
Except for criminals.
Nah. Okay, let's listen back to this.
Okay, you just recorded what you were singing into the mic.
Yeah, and we can view this. So along with the MIDI capabilities of a professional sequencer, it also gives you the ability to manipulate and see digital audio. So let's listen to that back, and you can see the bouncing ball just like the other program. It gives you an idea where the bars and beats are.
And there you are.
That's a fucking great song. That's a great song.
And you're recording right onto the hard drive here?
That's correct.
All right, there's some.
How easy our minds were blown back in 1990. It was simpler times. So you recorded that, and then you're playing it back.
That's insane. I can't believe you're doing that right now.
Blow my mind.
These computers, I tell you, they just get crazier and crazier.
These computers, I'm telling you.
And now we're doing.
I would love to show them TikTok and see what's going on now.
I'd love to show that guy the Wheel of Doom. It'd blow his mind.
He's like, hold on, you put the videos in the wheel, and the wheel spins, and it randomly shows us a video, which adds to the suspense. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we do. And we're going to do it right now.
Yeah. What's his name? Charles White? Is that his name? I love that clip, dude. I love that clip. That clip is great, and I'm just going to tell you something. Being respectful and having your friends back, old school values that nobody has anymore. Everyone's too quick to throw each other under the bus for personal gains, clout, and clicks and views.
Yeah, but white people, we have some pretty famous snitches too.
We do have a lot of the mob snitching.
Yeah, I mean, these bikers clamped up, but we got some pretty big snitches too. So.
Is that his name? Anyone in the chat? Does anyone know? I think it's Charles White.
Are you talking about which guy? The
guy
Goodfellas
that
guy, or just on there? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that guy, but I am familiar with the Wheel of Doom.
Yeah, it is. It's Charleston White. Respect to Charleston White.
Yeah. Bikers don't snitch. Yeah.
Spin it.
Oh.
There is an O, yeah. Anything else?
I'd like to solve.
Okay.
Renting a paddle boat.
No, that is not correct. Sean, it's your turn. $500.
T.
Yes, 2 T's.
How do you get this wrong at this point?
I like to buy an E.
Mm-hmm. There are 2 E's.
Okay, you got it,
And
dude.
no more vowels.
I like to solve.
Yeah.
Renting a paddle boat.
No, that's not right.
He literally just said what she said.
Michelle, you have $3,000. You can spin again, but you don't have to.
Oh.
$600. What letter do you want?
M.
No. Crystal.
I have to spin.
Oh my God.
I'd like to solve it.
900.
W?
L.
No.
I am losing my mind. America is functionally illiterate, and it's getting to the point in society that you're not going to be able to ignore the problem much longer. We spend more money on public schools than ever before, double the cost of private schools in many areas, and the results just keep getting worse.
Yep.
Our founders said that this experiment, this kind of government, could only work if we had an educated population, and you'd be hard-pressed to argue that those conditions are currently being met. And the evidence is everywhere. I mean, just look at social media comments. Not only can most people not read, they can't even hear, they can't even think properly. How do you expect people to engage in political discourse and debate when they can't reason and they can't think and they can't read? The government has every incentive to make its people stupid and compliant. And I would argue that that has been the goal of public schools all along and that they have succeeded. In 2025, both Tennessee and Texas have joined the growing number of states that have universal school choice on the books. And it is imperative that we ensure the rest of the states follow suit. We're not going to fix public schools by throwing more money at them. That should be evident by now. I don't even think the majority of people running those schools want to improve them. The only thing that fixes this picture is competition. You have to give families and kids and even teachers a fighting chance if you want our country to have one too.
Yeah, let's make them race.
Well, you know, I'm just going to say this, and as a parent, it's like, you know, what's really adding to this is that both parents have to work.
Yeah.
So nobody can stay home. So you go work all day, you come home, you're exhausted. It's hard to sit down with your kids and teach them. Now I'm spending time with my daughters now, and we're spelling words out every day. You have to do it. It's not just on the teachers, guys. It's also on, and this is all part of their giant plan to dumb us down, is to spread us so thin that we can't teach our children. So that was pedal boat, everybody. That was an L. Okay. Renting a pedal boat. It's unbelievable. You would think you would go, I can spell really well. I'm going to go on Wheel of Fortune. That's the minimal you have to have for that.
I think you could get on there and kick ass if you won the 7th grade spelling bee. You would dominate.
How do you not know that's an L? You're just yelling out letters right now. Unbelievable.
I think there's
Padam boat?
I think there's like some undiagnosed stuff going on. So for me, I've been doing a podcast for 20 years, just about 20 years. And I used to think, well, the reason why I can't read so well is probably because I'm drunk most of the time and I don't care.
Thank you for your honesty.
And so I stopped drinking, and I still can't read and that well or talk. And I'm beginning to realize I probably have some form of dyslexia, to where I just cannot. I get my words get all jumbled in my head.
Yeah,
and it's like I still try to read the stories on the show. It just does not go very well often. I get buzzed a lot, so I have dyslexia.
My problem is that my mind moves too quick, and I jump words.
Yeah, I try to think, but nothing happens.
Yeah,
and it's just not there.
I get it, dude.
Yeah.
I get it.
And now
I have a
these kids,
broken supercomputer for a brain. I'm really fast in some ways and really slow in others.
Well, that's why we have the wheel here.
It's
the
not
wheel
PDDLE. It's how they spelled it was PEDLEL.
Yeah.
They spelled it. Well, you're saying they spelled it wrong, which is maybe true. What if Wheel of Fortune wrong? Fortune got wrong.
maybe they got it wrong.
Dude, do we live in a weird dimension where the Wheel of Doom shows a Wheel of Fortune clip?
Oh, wow. Maybe, yeah.
No, there's no way. All right, Mike.
All right. All right.
Let's do the better wheel right now.
Here we go.
Spin this baby.
Is it a sin to be single in life? The truth no one told you. Listen to this. You're not alone by accident. The world says being single is a problem, that something is wrong with you. But God says something different.
Oh, no.
Did you know that Jesus was never married? That Paul lived without a partner on purpose? So why do you feel like something is missing? Being single is not a curse or a punishment. It's a divine season to grow, to find your purpose, to walk with God without distractions.
You got me back in.
While the world pressures you to go find someone, God says, "Seek first my kingdom, and in due time I will give you what you need."
Right.
Many people enter relationships out of fear, afraid to be alone because of social pressure, and end up trapped in something that was never meant for them. But if you trust God, He will prepare the right person at the perfect time. Don't rush to fulfill His plan. Still think being single is a problem? Then answer this. If God asked you to wait longer, would you wait? Or would you run after the first person who shows up? Because sometimes loneliness isn't a punishment, it's protection. Comment Amen if you trust God's timing, and save this video to remember.
Amen. Listen here. Here's what I must say. That video was interesting. It was, I've said this a lot of times. Whenever men have a heartbreak, what does everyone always tell them? Oh, go get laid. Like, there's no other problem where they do that. Nobody's like, oh, you got a drinking problem? Here's a bottle of Jack Daniels. Nobody does that, okay? But what I will say, the problem, if there is a problem with this video, okay, is that everyone they showed was smoking hot. We know they were AI.
Yes, yeah.
The people in the video have no problems finding dates. You should show the chicks who want adult diapers for fat chicks in the video going, I'm alone. Somewhere out there, there's a guy for me. And the truth is that there are people for everybody. And I've always said this, like, I just know people that are just addicted to love and they run back into these relationships. They can't be alone. In that aspect, I agree with this video. If you are single, take a moment and work on yourself. And when you vibrate, it's hard to do.
It's very hard to do. Especially as a young man, it is hard to recognize that you need to work on yourself, or you don't know where to start. I fell in that category. Didn't know how to improve myself. Didn't know where to start. It was tough also to be comfortable with yourself. But I was single a good chunk of my life, in and out of relationships. I didn't really start dating until my early 20s. So I didn't
have a girlfriend in high school, dude.
Yeah,
I had a girl. Oh, well, that's not true. I had a girlfriend, 2 girlfriends for 2 weekends.
Wow, really? 2 weekends? So
and then I went to college. Steady? It was in Saturday. Yeah, we were going steady for 48 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you ask them out, or did they ask you out?
Oh, dude, I asked them out.
Oh, hey, all right. That took some guts. You learned something from that. That's nice.
I did learn a lot about myself, but then I went to college and it was just crazy. It was crazy. But in high school, funny isn't attractive yet.
No, it's not. You can get beat up a lot by being funny.
Well, you have to be funny so they don't beat you up.
Well, that's what they say.
It's
on
a defense
paper.
mechanism. That's what they say.
That's what they tell you, Sam, and then you get beat up sometimes.
Yeah, you're probably gonna get beat up anyways.
Yeah, you're right. All right, you're right.
All right, guys, let's spin it, dude.
That's how this town has been running for so long. This is a spiritual warfare at this point.
Satanism is Saturnism. There's the eye, there's the six-pointed star, there's the step pyramid, there's the winged disc, and there's bloody Saturn. Therefore, you look at religions and secret societies and Satanism, they're worshipping Saturn.
Saturn is where time begins, and this is why they worship this world, the world of time.
These have exchanged money in order for them to portray and manifest negative energy through the music.
Every word they are saying in the song is molding and shaping your mind in some form or way.
I agree. I totally agree. Saturn, what's very interesting is Saturn is Kronos. Kronos is the oldest god, and Kronos is the god of time.
Yeah, Ike thinks that all of our matrix reality emanates from Saturn. The moon is basically like a carrier, a relay station, and it carries it down to us. And yeah, when you talk about all the worship of Saturn, the black cube, all that kind of stuff, it's just coincidentally, all these artists do happen to really hold Saturn into high regard there. And it is weird when the more you find out about pop culture, music, and you read about some of this stuff, it does seem like it is all twisted and demonic at times. But I still like listening to this music, Sam. Like, I feel like I'm torn between these worlds.
It's got to be good, or else no one would listen to it. It's like when people are like, oh, you tell me this person's controlled up. I'm like, they find talented people. They have to. They do the data on it. Now, okay, so if you look at Gaga, if you study Gaga, Lady Gaga, Gaga is Pluto, and Pluto is known as the messenger for Saturn. Interesting. Oh, well. Guys, the most educational hour on the internet.
Here we go. We're going to doom right now.
Doom.
People don't even know what is real or what is fake, bro. That's the whole thing right now with the AI and the deep fakes. People can't trust their senses, quite literally. And what is the story in the Gnostic story? It's that the demiurge is tricking you, and that's why he didn't want you to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because once you did, you would learn that you're in a simulation or a false reality of some sorts, right? So although probably both accounts originate from the same source, the Gnostic development differs from the Jewish development of Samael, in which Samael is merely an angel and servant of God. So here we have these two cosmologies that have very different views on the same entity. He appears frequently in the story of Garden of Eden and engineered the fall of Adam and Eve with a snake in writing during the Second Temple period. However, the serpent is not a form of Samael, but a beast. He rode like a camel. In a single account, he's also believed to be the father of Cain. Interesting, as well as the partner of Lilith. In early Talmudic and Midrashic literature, he is not identified with Satan yet. Only in later Midrashim, he is entitled head of Satans. Wow.
Satans.
I didn't even know that somehow had all this lore. I thought he was a good angel. But here we have people using him for evil, bro.
That's wild.
That's crazy, right?
For the summer solstice. It's the 6-9. So when Aleister Crowley wrote his Psalm 6-9 on suck seeds and suck eggs, it was dedicated to this. It was dedicated to Cancer and the summer solstice. So it doesn't surprise me that we see right before the summer solstice, the orange here. It does seem very much symbolic in a lot of ways. And the symbolism of all of these different corporations, this is all connected to like the George Soros communist agendas, time running out, even the watermelons of the Illuminati cards.
Even though watermelons are Illuminati, bro?
Well, that'd be going into some stuff that George Soros is funding now as well.
Wow, these guys are hitting
one-on-one and Donut. Fun fact about both of them, way taller in person than when you see them on the video. You go, okay, you know, they look about, 5'8".
Yeah.
They're both very tall men.
Juan's a big guy?
Juan's a tall guy. I would say Juan is at least 5'10".
Wow.
And Donut is over 6 foot.
He's basically a Nephilim. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's a Jewish Nephilim.
Sure.
Yeah.
What is real? That's what they were talking about. What is real? How do you distinguish what is real with this AI world we live in? It is getting tougher and tougher because these AI video generators are getting so good now.
Yeah.
It is getting very difficult. That's why on this show, everything's real.
Yeah, during this hour, everything that's said, we just believe it, and then you guys decide whether it's real or not, okay? And here's what I want to say is that these AI like speeches now people are giving, they're getting more and more realistic every day. It's getting crazy, dude.
With the lip movements, the matching up, the inflection of like the voice, it is getting so good. In a few years, maybe even a year, I think we'll probably see full movies done by AI that are going to be better than what Hollywood's kicking out right now.
Well, music videos, the Door Brothers are putting out music videos that beat anything you see in real life. The amount of production it would take to do what the Doors are doing with their videos, they'd be too expensive.
Yeah, one of my favorite bands, High on Fire, they put out a new album, and their first video, I think, off that album, they did all with AI, and it works for that kind of music, and it's very, heavy metal, it's ominous, it's talking about weird stuff, but it is disconcerting, and, it's, I understand it's cheaper to use AI, but you gotta sometimes the old, putting effort in it and doing stuff, putting pen to paper, that is what I think matters to getting your ideas into the ether.
Yeah,
where I think that's where it really, really helps.
Dude, yeah, and people will always like human being art. We'll call that, it's going to be considered the free range stuff.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
There will always be AI stuff, but people will enjoy free range human art. It will just happen. It's just going to be, now you're just going to see crazier and crazier shit. It's going to be fun. And who screwed the NPCs?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Here we go. We're going to doom it right now.
Who were the worst popes in history? First up is Pope Stephen VI, who was only pope for 1 year, from 896 to 897. Stephen VI was basically a puppet of a noble Italian family called the Spoletos. What he's most remembered for is for having dug out the skeleton of his predecessor, Pope Formosus, dressing it up in the usual papal robes and putting it on trial for perjury.
Hardcore.
He judged Pope Formosus, or better said, his corpse, for having become pope illegally. He cut off his ring finger and threw him in the River Tiber. The scandal was so heavy that it led to Pope Stephen being strangled to death. Next up is John XII, the youngest person to ever become pope at the age of 18. And he only got the job because he was propped up by his rich dad. And I'm sure you all know that the pope is supposed to be celibate, right? Well, this guy, let's just say he wasn't. Basically, he made the Vatican a brothel. He got such a bad reputation that it ended up being what killed him. He got thrown out of a window by an Italian nobleman after he found the Pope in bed with his wife. Next up is one that I'm sure many of you have heard of if you've ever played Assassin's Creed or if you've ever watched series like The Borgias, which is Alexander VI, better known to many as Rodrigo Borgia. What if the Godfather became Pope? Well, that's basically the story of Rodrigo Borgia. He meddled loads in Italian politics, he had loads of lovers, loads of secret children, many of which became generals in the army, for example. His son, Cesare Borgia, was the inspiration for Machiavelli's The Prince, a very corrupt, very nepotistic gangster Pope. And the last one for today is Leo X, a member of the famous Medici family from Florence. This Pope spent a barbaric amount of money, especially on personal luxuries. And to get some money back quick, he encouraged the sale of indulgences. Basically, you could buy your way out of hell. This very obvious scam was exactly what led Martin Luther to start up the Protestant Reformation. Let me know if I've missed any worthy, or better said, unworthy contenders down in the comments.
Great video, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Borges, that's the guy whose son they said they became the white image of Jesus. That's crazy. Imagine an 18-year-old Pope.
18-year-old Pope. I mean, you're going through puberty, and
you're
you got
banging everything.
Yeah, you got all these thoughts, and you're basically one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful person in the world at that point in time. That kind of power is probably going to go to your head a little bit.
Yeah, dude. And you know, chicks love to bang powerful guys because then they get known as that, like Monica Lewinsky. Who's Monica Lewinsky? Oh, that's the chick that banged Clinton. So they get known by who they bedded. And now these chicks are running around going, dude, guess who I boned last night? The Pope, bro.
I've had enough problems without that one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Bill. You know all about
Bill. Bill would have been a Pope banging it out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we all know 18-year-olds make great decisions.
Yeah,
especially
I mean,
18-year-old
I think,
popes.
yeah, I think all the popes are shady. Is that your mom? Is that your mom or your? Oh no, is that your ass or your mama got reindeer? One of the best lines ever in a rap song.
Oh, rap
it's
song
from Nelly.
I should know. I'm a big rapper. People know that.
I know you are, dude. You're one of the original wiggers.
So strap yourself in.
Could 100 guys take on a silverback gorilla for $1 million? You see, the first 10 guys would try to rush the gorilla, but would get instantly destroyed. Then the rest of the men would start to scatter around it from all angles, hoping to catch its blind spot. And if they're smart, they'd all pile onto the gorilla at the same time. But in the end, there will likely only be around 10 survivors and the gorilla would lose.
Not bad. Okay.
Wow, that gives us some hope.
That
that
is
use
a very optimistic
strategy.
video.
I've been trying to work on that. You have to use strategy. You have to be willing to sacrifice about 75% of the guys. This ain't
would,
90.
Yeah, I would be willing to do that. I'd be willing to sacrifice 75% of the other people.
So
but it's really, it's like you have to strategize. You want to be in the back there, but you don't want to be pushed to the front by people who realize that strategy. So I guess you just want to play dead until the very end, and then you can rise up and kill the monkey.
I agree, dude. So the first 50 to 70 people have to be people you just basically want to get rid of. We're talking like Starbucks, baristas, Antifa. Send those in first.
Yeah.
Right?
And as soon as you enter, pass out. Feign as though you are so overwhelmed with anxiety, you passed out.
Yeah.
Hey, but really, you're plain dead.
The monkey doesn't understand theater. It thinks you're dead. And then when it's on its last leg, you pop up and just murk it. And then you're kind of like an 18-year-old Pope because you're getting all the action.
Yep. That's how you win. There you go. See, we did it.
We did
beat
it.
Monkeys.
Guys, hit us up if you need any more battle plans.
Are T-Rexes really just dragons? Let's look at the evidence. The earliest text speaking of dragons was 1500 BCE. It's also been spread through a lot of cultures. Pieces of T-Rex bones have only ever been found in pieces. A whole skeleton had never been discovered until 2013. The mysterious thing is that it was privately purchased and only a handful of people have ever seen the full skeleton. Why is that? T-Rex bones are also hollow, just like birds. Typically it would be to make them lighter for flight. Now you gotta think of a 12,000 pound animal that's 40 feet long and up to 17 feet high. Somebody did the math. They would need a wingspan of 55 feet or more. Also, when an animal dies in nature, what happens? Scavengers come and grab everything. Of course, the wings would be drug off somewhere and you'd never find them.
Yeah,
they also don't age well being hollow. They probably didn't breathe fire, though. What do you think?
I don't believe in dinosaurs. I only believe in dragons.
Yeah, there's something to the dragon myth. It persists all across the world, and that's one of those cryptids or creatures I don't know a lot about. I don't know a lot of the history of the dragon.
So my whole theory, there's this whole theory that all of the animals in the Chinese zodiac or the Chinese years are real animals, except for the dragon. They just threw in a mystical beast somewhere around there.
You know what? That's a very good point. That's like a very like common sense observation. Like everything is real, but the dragon, they're going to throw you a curveball right at the end.
I'm with you.
I don't believe so.
So there's
bullshit.
So Midnight, there is a woman who puts out, and I've talked about this on a couple podcasts where I've talked about, but I want to tell you about. There's a woman named something Lee Real Talk, and she says that the actual real population after her herd, you know, that we went through the last 4 years, her we can't say it on here, her you know, is actually around 400 million people.
400. That is incredibly low considering we're told that the population, we're talking about the population of Earth, right?
Yeah. And then on top of that, dude, that she said that that they did for her, okay? Do you understand what I just said there?
Oh, yeah.
That they did for her, okay? Murked 400 million of them. And she does it based on the World Health Organization data.
Interesting. So that's incredibly disturbing numbers because we're told 8 billion. And funny enough, Charlie Robinson, our friend, we were talking a few months ago, and he was trying to come up with his own calculation to find a better estimation of the world population. And it's fairly difficult to do because everyone relies on census data. And so we were kind of quizzing ChatGPT, coming up with kind of novel ways to do it by using satellite imagery, maybe power utility consumption, all these different methods. And I don't know what numbers he's come up with, but to say the population of planet Earth is 400 million, that's crazy.
She says China.
Oh, just China? Oh,
China's population, which is said to be 1.4 billion. Before her, it was the actual numbers, and this is a high estimate by her, she says, was 800 million. And then after that, after her and the okay, it was down to 400 million.
Wow.
That they're all just in giant cities.
Wow. You know what? I could see that being a state secret. And yeah, I could see China going through that. That would be devastating for their economy, and that it means that they're going to have to start a war real soon. And
well, or their economy can't handle that many people, so they had to get it down.
I can see that too. Man,
yeah.
What an interesting thought.
That is an interesting. The most educational hour on the internet.
Here we go.
I know some more educational hour.
Let's
Find
do
it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know.
What you're about to see will open your eyes.
What's a conspiracy theory you 100% know is true?
Root canals. There's this YouTube video, which before was a documentary on Netflix before it got pulled after 2 weeks, known as The Root Cause. The Root Cause discusses the big psyop by dental industry and by big pharma to f people's health up through root canals. You can't even watch it in the United States. You have to turn on a VPN because it's banned by the American Dental Association, which is in bed with big pharma. I had a root canal recently removed, and once they did the DNA biopsy on the tooth, they found 20 different types of parasites growing and living inside of my jaw. Stay away from fluoride, stay away from root canals.
Oh my God, dude.
Have you heard this? I was
No,
trying to
but-
get this guy on the show and he bailed at the last second.
Dude, this is crazy to consider. Like, I think everyone out there has had dental problems. I've had one root canal in my life. They messed it up. I got to go back in because they said there's bacteria down there. They did a horrible job on the root canal. And so I got to go back in. I've been prolonging. I've been putting it off. But I got to do it at some point. Now this. It's like I've already been screwed over. I'm compromised.
Yeah. Take it out, dude. Just say, take it out. Take the tooth out. Get a gold tooth. Be gangster, dude.
I took it out. Like,
because
they
what
dug it
happens
out.
is they carve it out, right? But they don't clean it enough, and they just fill it in.
That's what they did to me. So they didn't clean it out enough, and there's bacteria down there. And I think it's causing a whole bunch of problems in my head. I can't think. And I think it's because of that.
Well, for a guy who can't think, you're a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, well.
You invented the Wheel of Doom. That's like historic.
Oh, this is phase 1. Wait till Wheel of Doom version 2 comes out. It's gonna blow people's minds.
I cannot wait. I am so excited.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, this is very concerning. Yeah, you got to get him back on tinfoil hat because
we told him to come on. Some people like that Catherine Fitz chick.
Yeah,
I love her. I want her on my show so badly, and she won't come on because I know the name creeps her out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people don't understand why I went with the name because it's punk rock. Yeah. It's like let's take the most demonized word and let's own it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
All right.
People are already talking about Doom 2.0. They're very excited.
It's going to be crazy, people.
Look how much thicker those slices are getting. There's so many videos, though.
There's so much right there. And we're going to do it right now. Come on.
Let's go. So get ready.
The moon isn't a rock. The first time I ever went over to the moon, at that point, I'd only ever remote viewed on planet, like on Earth stuff. I never even thought of going off planet to remote view. But then this Pleiadian being came into my room and said, there's a meeting in 2 days' time, and I want to take you to this meeting. And I said, okay, like I'm down. And I wasn't sure, are they going to physically abduct me and take me to the meeting? Am I going in my remote view body? Like my astral body. Literally, he's traveling off planet. I'm like, oh my God, we're leaving the planet? Like, this is even possible? So I'm going off planet. All of a sudden, we're going towards the moon. And I'm like, oh, cool. It's a meeting on the moon. No. It was a meeting inside the moon.
What?
So literally, he keeps going, and then he's going in the moon. And I'm like, can I do this? Like, can we just travel right through like a planet? Like, what's going on? And so we go in the moon, and it's hollow. There was this huge hollowed out space in the moon, and there was all these beings, like we're talking hundreds of thousands of interdimensional beings, like sitting in this sort of auditorium inside the moon.
What?
I know. And then there was all these astral bodies that were floating around, and I could see that their grounding cord all led them back to Earth. So I'm like, I'm one of the Earth beings that are here, that are called to this meeting. And that was my first introduction to the Galactic Federation. And that's when they're like, okay, we are the Galactic Federation. We would like to talk about the ascension of planet Earth. And here are the things that you need to know.
Oh, sounds logical, doesn't it?
She's been on my show. She is so hot. When you talk to her, she is so hot. You're like, I don't even know what you're saying is true.
And that's my problem with conspiracy communities nowadays,
Hot
Sam.
chicks.
Is that 10 years ago, if you and I rolled into a UFO convention, it'd be like Pitt and Clooney walking in, But now, if we walk into a UFO conspiracy convention, it'd be like two trolls walking in there, and it's not good. Conspiracy theories used to be the realm of trolls and goblins and mostly single men sitting next to an Air Force base and documenting everything they found. Now it's so mainstream that it's hard to distinguish genuine conspiracies versus just a bunch of fluff. Now, I'm not calling her that. I'm just saying that I'm seeing a problem,
Yeah, it's getting interesting. But again, she's so hot. You're like, okay, that's what you said you experienced. I'm listening.
I know, and I like all those remote viewing stories. I take them as genuine experiences that they have dealt with, that they have felt. And considering that Hal Putoff was just on Joe Rogan talking about the remote viewing program, Project Stargate, and remote viewing alien bases. What she has is pretty interesting to say. So,
yeah,
this is
I'm
my
with you, dude. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm open-minded to it all. I believe I'm psychic. I play things out. I play the tape out in my head. And that's why my show has a 95% kill rate.
Yep.
Okay. So I can't tell this chick what she's saying isn't true.
Yeah.
And plus she's hot. I don't want cock block.
Yeah, man, hey, just let the woman speak,
I know you're fairly new to the fry station.
We may have played this one last episode, did we?
No, I don't think we did.
No,
I think it was in the list that we had.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He's collecting what looks like nanoparticles that are magnetic. They self-adhere and they're forming these weird shapes. And he's collecting all that stuff in the sand. I'm telling this to the people just listening at home. He's just like using a metal detector or a magnet to collect all this stuff from the sand, puts it in a petri dish, combining it with some sort of oil or some sort of liquid, and it is self-assembling in some way.
Self-assembling, dude. And
That's
it goes
crazy.
into battle mode, too, like an old dinosaur with spikes on its shell.
Yeah, it didn't make a smiley face. It was
It did
making
not-
like
it is coming for war.
Yes, it is. We're doomed.
Damn, it was graphite. Yeah, graphene, graphite, something like that.
Yep.
Unbelievable, dude. That was a little devastating right there.
It was.
AI will tell them an answer, and they will just accept it, even though AI consistently, more than anything
catch
else,
it lying all
lies
the
to
time.
you all the time. Like, if you just verify this shit, you will find it's always lying. People will accept it, and they will run with it as truth. We all came up like searching shit on the internet, like the first page of Google's bullshit. You go deeper, you use search modifiers, you can try other search engines. Now people just ask a question to AI and they say that's the truth.
Yeah, you're so right. And it's just like, hey, dude, this is Google search. It's giving you what you want, and you just gotta press these motherfuckers. You really got to push these AIs to tell you the truth, but you got to ask them a question you already know the answer to.
100%, dude.
You're just going to get the answer that the establishment wants you to believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is from my show. I think this is the first time one of my clips made it.
Yeah.
That is, and you're more than welcome to put your clips in there as well, my friend. Yes, someone wrote Sam watching Sam. That is from whatever this is, which is a show I do exclusively, or the three of us, Brad Binkley and Austin Picard, do exclusively on our premium content. And it's one of the best conversations on the internet.
We bring up there is a good point with the reliance on AI. And I use it in the cybersecurity coding realm. And you can tell when it is not being a very good AI. You can tend to get in these loops where it thinks it's telling you the right answer, but it's kind of half-assing it. And you get into these loops where it's telling you the wrong thing. You ask it again and again and again, and it just, sooner or later, it will repeat back the first wrong answer it gave you 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I agree.
But at least I can call it on its BS because I can quickly test its answer. But for some people, it is really, it's just like Google for them. So they're going to take it as the gospel and they're going to run with it. And unfortunately, that's the way society is running. And people by default are looking to AI for the answers, and we will be governed by AI very soon.
It's coming. It is coming. They're already trying to do that with doctors. I mean, you're going to be calling. Have you seen Amazon wants you to call their medical professionals? And I guarantee you it will eventually just be AIs you're talking to.
Yeah. I would imagine at this point, the Pentagon is using some form of AI to do threat modeling and decision-making of where to bomb next or how to bomb. Like this is already being used. And you have interns in Congress using AI to write laws. It's already happening because the person that they're writing the laws for that goes to committee, they're not reading it. And so we're going to have a lot of AI laws passed just because no one reads the shit. And we are like, I'm sure that stuff's already happened, and it's over, people. It's over.
Yeah, we enjoyed the last of the good stuff.
Yep.
I get sad because my kids are so young, but they'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll navigate it. There's going to be some rocky times, but your kids are young. They'll grow up past the rocky times, and they'll adapt. It's just
They'll adapt.
The people who are 18 right now trying to find a job, incredibly difficult.
Some people are asking to see my tattoo, so I was showing them too. That is Godzilla. Nice. I'm thinking about getting King Kong on the other side.
That's a good tattoo.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I got crappy tattoos. So
I have some crappy ones too, but I still love them.
Yeah.
All right, spin. Guys, 30 minutes left.
Come on.
I am begging Netflix to make a documentary about these two guys who went to Texas, bought 24 million separate lottery tickets in a 72-hour time frame, ended up profiting $60 million because they won the $90 million jackpot, and Texas is now saying, we don't want to do the lottery anymore, just shut it off. And one of them is from Tasmania. I didn't even know people lived there, and he goes by the Joker. Last month, the Wall Street Journal puts this story out, how a secretive gambler called the Joker took down the Texas lottery. This story, which you should go and read, it's amazing, goes into detail how they bought 25 million separate tickets in a 72-hour process in order to profit around $60 million. And it was all done by two guys that don't live in Texas or America. Yeah. Bernard Marantelli, who was this finance guy. Then there's Zelko Rano-Gajic, who is rarely photographed. He's known within London as the Loch Ness Monster because this man's just never photographed. This is like the only photograph of him ever from 2012. These guys, they buy two separate warehouses and they purchased a bunch of lottery machines where you can print out tickets. They purchased it from this kind of failing startup called lottery.com. They planned for this for months. They knew if the lottery got to a certain number, it would be very profitable for them. So it got to 95 million and they said, all right, it's time to go. And all of these lottery machines were in just warehouses in Texas, and they brought themselves and then some trusted people and their kids, and they just started printing lottery tickets around the clock for 72 hours. Texas politicians later likened the operation to a sweatshop. The Joker, Zelko, he funded this whole thing because obviously you need a lot of money up front. By the way, Zelko's changed his name like 1 billion times. So yeah, I need a documentary on it. So they ended up winning. Texas figures this out and they're like, bro, what? How did this happen? And the lieutenant governor called the cruise win the biggest theft from the people of Texas in the history of Texas. This all went down in 2023. They had lawyers that said, no, they did everything legally. Yeah. And just last week, we saw that the head of the Texas lottery had to step down. And on top of it, the Texas legislators are like, you're not getting any more money, Texas lottery. So for the next 2 years, they're getting $0. So the Texas lottery pretty much shut down. And also, the Joker has like these accounts in the Isle of Man, a tax haven off the UK coast. And then also he somehow has an escrow account at a Detroit law. I mean, that documentary. This is a documentary. This article goes on to talk about some other crews, some other things that are very similar. I guess there's a lot of groups that do this. It's unbelievable stuff. And I need to know more immediately.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have a problem with this.
Neither do I.
I just wish I could do it.
Yeah, it takes a lot of startup money. Was it like 25 million to get it going? But as was ruled by our Supreme Court, money is speech. So I would like to see him try to crack down on this. But also, it does prove that the lottery can sometimes be real.
Yeah. I mean, like Jeffrey Epstein won the lottery twice in New Mexico.
That's
Get the
what
fuck
I'm getting
out
at.
of here.
That's what
you
I'm
have
getting
a
at.
problem when pedophile networks were winning. Now some Ukrainian guy brings in 25 mil to make 90 mil.
And you know what? He could have lost. He could have lost. He gambled. He put his money where his mouth is, and he just so happened to win. Why are they upset? It's like they've had to pay out large sums in the past. It wasn't $1 billion. it wasn't like $300 million. Why are they upset? He spent the money. You're just upset that he did this? I don't know. Something's not adding up here.
I agree with it, dude. I agree with everything you're saying right now.
Yep. All right.
I agree with everything you are saying right now.
All right. Let's roll.
All right, let's roll.
This is not a conspiracy. This is scary. So in 2018, scientists discovered a black hole really, really far. Like I want to say it was like 16 million light years away. Something crazy. Super far from us. They're watching it literally swallow a star.
Oof.
It was sucking a star in.
Did it move or the star move?
The star was getting sucked into this black, like, so it was just like light streams going into this black hole.
Where is it going?
Listen to this. What they thought they knew of black holes, well, they don't know a lot. Stuff gets sucked into it because it's just this mad force of gravitational pull that just sucks everything in.
Yeah.
But this year, they looked at the same black hole and it was spitting the star back out. Like, so light and stuff was coming out of this black hole. Just like, so it was like regurgitating this star.
Just
But,
recycling
it. Like broken apart though. So it's like, what's on the other side? Yeah.
Oh, I thought a star was just a ball of gas.
It is. But light and stuff was coming out of it. So it was like it sucked the star in with the light, fire, all that, whatever a star is. And it was spitting it straight back out.
That's
3 years
terrifying.
later.
That's insane.
That is insane. And that is Ninjas Are Butterflies. And I love them very much. And it looks like somebody is pregnant. Yay!
Wow.
That was pretty cool. And I'm all in on that. The only problem I have is with the theory gravity. You know? Oh, it's gravitational force. Or it's just sucking it in.
That story was fascinating. It changes, I guess, everything we believe about what black holes could be.
What are black holes?
What's on the other side?
We don't know.
That's
We don't
fascinating.
know.
What a fascinating. I'm gonna look up that story. That is very educational.
I agree, dude. I agree.
It's fascinating. All right, here we go.
You ever had a dream about this tiger? No. Okay, keep watching, look. That picture went viral on Twitter. Somebody posted it and said, I had a dream about this tiger. What happened after this person posted this picture, many people, once they seen it, they had dreams of the same tiger and they grew an obsession to drawing it hours and hours, doing artwork depicting the same tiger.
Yeah, what does it represent though?
The theory is this is exactly what demons, I guess lesser gods, try to control people with. They'll show up in your dream and you end up trying to worship it because you think of its significance. And I low-key just curse everybody that's watching. No, but if you dream about this tiger, that means it's trying to like call to you, trying to make you worship it. But once you see it, you might become obsessed and you might spend hours drawing it. Crazy.
That is interesting.
I can't say I've ever had a dream about a tiger.
Do you remember your dreams still?
Sometimes. I remember
Very rarely I do.
certain ones that I've carried with me since a very young age. I've remembered, and some recently. But it does feel like my dreams. It feels like some of the time I'm going to work, like I'm doing something, and like I am on some kind of mission, or I got to get something done. There's a time constraint. That's what it feels like half the time.
So you're dreaming about working.
Doing something, and
That's men right there.
Sometimes, but it's like I'm not doing my current job, and there are certain times where I have to run in a dream, and it's easier for me to run when I get down on all fours and I pull myself along the ground. Like I realize that's how I run in dreams. If I want to get someplace quickly, I have to hold on to the ground and I launch myself, basically running on all fours. If not, I'm just running through molasses, and so it's weird. I remember some weird stuff in dreams.
I don't remember any of my dreams. I'm just so deep into sleep. When I fall asleep, I sleep hard.
Well, and if you do want to remember your dreams, all you have to do is tell yourself, "I will remember my dreams" 3 times, and after maybe the 5th day, you will start remembering your dreams.
Whoa.
You're giving yourself like a little hypnotic suggestion. I've done it. It works. My wife does it. It works. And so, yeah, just tell yourself, I will remember my dreams, and you'll start remembering stuff.
Your lovely wife, the Naked Gardener.
That's correct. NakedGardener.us.
.us.
Here we go. We're going to roll. Here we go.
Get ready.
If this circle represents all of the open defecation
Oh, we
that
showed
happens
this.
in the world,
Yep, we did show this one.
this
Sorry,
is the
guys.
fraction
Sorry,
that
people.
happens
Oh my God.
in India.
That's
Why-
okay.
Why
and
didn't it?
this is the fraction that
Hey,
happens
my-
only in rural
Oh, I'm sorry,
India.
people. I closed
That's
the
okay.
browser.
Hey, dude.
55% of rural Indians
This is why I
defecate in
have
the
to
open.
have
So
a Wheel
what
of
that
Doom Part
means
2.
is
So
that
I'm going to spin
most
it.
of
I'm
the
going to spin
open
it again and see what
defecation that
happens.
happens in the world happens in
It
rural
might kill that
India.
video.
And most rural Indians
This man
Yeah, there we go.
discovered something significant about our reality and was allegedly, many people believe, silenced because of it. In 1974, this man experienced a glitch in reality. He discovered the Matrix 22 years before it existed. The FBI and the CIA seized his research, but 46 years later, many people prove him right. Check this out. Many of you may know him as a science fiction writer because some of his books are taught today, but he claims he saw beyond the simulation that we live in, and what he revealed at a secret conference in Paris left even top scientists speechless. He said that a strange woman appeared at his door in 1974. Around her neck was a fish-shaped pendant, the ancient symbol of secret knowledge. When Philip stared at it, something snapped in his mind. He described it as a beam of pink light, a direct upload of alien intelligence, and a sudden download of hidden information. In a flash, he understood quantum physics, languages he'd never studied, and realities he couldn't explain. He said that he realized our world was a facade, a thin digital curtain covering a much deeper, darker reality. In private journals, he detailed future events he accurately predicted, alternate timelines he slipped into, and a living intelligence behind time itself. He said at a conference, "We're living in a computer-programmed reality," and everyone got a little bit quiet. This is when some harassment started taking place. His house, his phone lines being tapped, people waiting around outside of his house taking notes on every single license plate that came by. He found his FBI and CIA files on him through the Freedom of Information report. He was now an enemy of a system he had exposed. Follow for part 2 and comment truth below if you want to know this secret info that really got him in hot water and led to his untimely passing from exposing the stuff.
God.
I want to know.
I want to know. We got to find part 2. When I find it, we'll upload it to the Wheel of Doom.
Yes, he's talking about Philip K. Dick. And I guess most recently he was, I guess, famous again because Amazon produced one of his short stories, The Man in the High Castle, into a 3-season TV show where it is the premise, what if the Nazis won World War II? They got the atom bomb before the Allied forces, and so it kind of picks up there in the 1960s and how Germany and the Japanese are ruling the world. And Philip K. Dick, I think during that conference, says he's not writing a science fiction novel per se when it comes to The Man in the High Castle. He is remembering a different lifetime that he lived. And a lot of people call him crazy or schizophrenic, that he's had all these weird communications with alien satellites. But the guy was super talented, and I definitely pay attention to the things that he told us about reality. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's this whole theory that schizophrenics were shamans from the past. Like they talk to beings and all that stuff, and now we've made them so ostracized that they can't even function in society.
It is, yeah. There's probably something to that the schizophrenics are just tapping into a different realm. They're viewing reality a little differently. And sometimes you get a glimpse of this alternate reality. If you're next to an old person who's passing, it's almost like they're living in 2 different realms at the same time. They're talking about that they're seeing people from their past. It's like they're straddling this realm and the next realm at the same time, and they're communicating with you everything they're experiencing. But for them, it's completely normal. There's so much we don't know about consciousness that to call people crazy right off the bat is it's very dismissive of what they're experiencing.
It's fucking nuts.
But there are some legitimately some crazy people out there.
There are crazy people out there.
Yeah.
We're not saying there's not,
Yeah.
but some people have more than 5 senses.
Yeah.
Oh no!
What you're about to see will open your eyes.
Notice anything weird about this ship? Yeah, it's painted fun. This is what's known as Dazzle camouflage. Yeah, camouflage. But instead of trying to be invisible, these would try and make themselves look as crazy as possible, so any submarines or other ships that were coming in to try and attack them wouldn't know which direction they were going. Especially if we're talking about a submarine that might be miles away from one of these ships, they're not going to be able to tell which direction the ship is heading. Like this right here. Obviously, we can see that this is the front of the ship, but there's all these little optical illusions in here, making it much more complicated. If you're way further back, you didn't have perfect weather conditions, that you might not be able to tell. And these played a really important role in both World War I and World War II. Instead of trying to be invisible, they tried to make themselves as confusing as possible. And these were pretty successful overall. The British Navy especially made almost all of their ships have this Dazzle camouflage. Similar to the United States also had Dazzle ships. I have this book all about it that's super fun. Something so cool about these Dazzle ships is they had actual professional artists design them. It's not a sponsored video. I just really like that book, and I really like Dazzle ships. And a small part of me wants to paint my car to look like this. Although I'm not sure if it would be good for the other drivers to be confused about which direction I'm going.
I want to start doing this in my personal life. It looks pretty fascinating. It looks fun.
It does look very, very fascinating. Very fascinating.
Looks fun to do.
Buckle up. Get ready for Dazzle ships.
They're not bedazzling them. They're just
that'd be crazy. And then they just blind you.
Oh, they're sparkly. They're so sparkly and pretty. The enemy just is in awe of this.
Someone just said woke ships. Woke ships.
Yeah, a little
These
bit.
are trans ships.
A little bit.
They think they're zebras.
Okay. Hey, whatever wins the war.
So we got Arby's and Pizza Magic as sponsors of the show.
Hell yeah, we do.
Talk about real ID.
Real ID.
Real ID.
Real ID.
Oh, real ID?
I'm not getting the real ID.
It is a federalized identification system that everyone in the nation will have to have in order to fly domestically. They've been trying to pass this since the 80s in China. They had already passed a nationwide identification system. So everyone has something very similar to the real ID in China. The next step was the social credit score. They gave like a list of things that happens to lower your credit score. So court rulings, so like refusing to pay debts, criminal convictions, traffic violations. So I saw one thing, jaywalking can ruin your social credit score.
And those cameras catch it all too.
Then unpaid taxes or fines. If your credit score gets lowered, that bans you from flying on a plane, a train, sometimes even a bus. Keeps you from enrolling your children in private schools, applying for certain jobs or promotions. This one was a crazy one. They can slow down your internet speed. Just little inconveniences to make your life miserable. And then public shaming via government lists or media alerts. So I saw this one thing where they literally have like a LED screen board in this one city, and they just display faces and names like, this person jaywalked, they're just a terrible person. It's like public shaming. It's crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
That's what they want here for us. They do. They just need to have us voluntarily do it to ourselves, which we've already started to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, traffic violations. I mean, dude, you can't take Greyhound. How bad's your social credit score that you can't take Greyhound?
Yeah.
Greyhound is where you go when you have a bad social score.
Exactly. It's like a catch-22. Now, I think this real ID is being rolled in.
Yeah, you have to have it. I think it was May 5th.
Oh,
you had to have it by, and now you have. I'm not getting one. I'm just going to use my passport, which is a real ID as well, but you know, you have to have that to travel internationally. So I'm not going to get a real ID. Suck it, lizards.
So do you anticipate problems? Because you fly a lot. You're going to anticipate a few problems.
I'm constantly hanging and banging. Bang, bang, pow. We're hanging and banging.
Well, much respect to you for saying, hey, no real ID for me. I'm going to see if I can do it. I'm going to see how long I can go without getting it.
Do you have a passport?
I'm getting my passport renewed very soon. So
that's all you need.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I'm good.
Yeah. Some guys are like, guess I'm not flying again. I'm Steve Lafayette, local celebrity.
What did Jerry Seinfeld and Jimmy Fallon mean by this?
Great, thank you. What you want in a pancake is to have the consistency of young human flesh.
It's spongy, it has life to it.
You were the guy with brightly colored undergarments, and you got soft human flesh in front of you. You're in a weird place.
I'm looking forward to this. This is really, really going to be a great pancake.
I can honestly say I've never made a joke like this. But is it a joke? Comment truth below and check your DMs if you want to know more about these types of jokes we see time and time again happening from Hollywood celebrities.
That's why I'm hungry. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't want to take everything literal. I'm not. I used to be a big fan of Seinfeld. I'm not I think he's one of those guys that are like a super clean comic that's really an asshole. I have no desire, not that I have any time to work with him, not that I would be working with him anytime anyways, or comedy.
You've turned him down. Admit it. You've turned him down.
I just like, dude, I mean, that is creepy.
It is a weird thing to say at when you're sitting down to eat. And it wasn't even, if it was a joke, it wasn't that good. Like for Seinfeld, you'd figure he's trying to maximize his joke to laugh ratio. And that one, even Fallon was like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
You know,
Fallon doesn't like anything.
No.
Fallon wants it to be the 1950s again.
Yeah.
Scary Jerry. That's a great name for him. Scary Jerry.
He likes to eat the flesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do let's go to 125 and then we'll go into, we're going to do something. I got to warn you guys. We're going to jump off YouTube for a couple of these videos because they're a little aggressive.
We're going into overdrive mode.
We're going to go, so we're going to have must-sees and then we're going to have overdrive.
Here we
So
go.
if you're on Twitter, you're on Rumble, you could see it, but YouTube will not allow us to do it. Sorry, guys. We don't make the rules. Okay? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Is there an underground city only available for the rich and elite if the world ends?
Yes.
People are losing their minds after this New York Post article was released earlier this week. Catherine Austin Fitts, who was a former Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development for Bush, says that there are over 170 of these bases all around the world and they're connected. This allegedly cost $21 trillion to build. And according to her, some of these are deep beneath the ocean, others are under land across the US. And remember that conspiracy theory where there are underground tunnels for people in LA and it's only available for celebrities and there's a Starbucks? Well, all of these cities are allegedly linked by underground hidden transportation systems, maybe these tunnels, and they're using technology that the public supposedly doesn't know exists. She also claims that this massive project was allegedly funded by trillions of dollars that went missing from the federal budget, money that still hasn't been explained. Now, to be clear, none of this has been proven, but these claims are definitely controversial. They've gotten attention, especially because we literally know that the US has built underground bunkers. There's one under a resort in West Virginia. It was secretly designed to hold the Congress during the Cold War in case they needed to hide in secret. But here's where things get even weirder. On September 10th, 2001, so literally the day before the horrible Twin Towers tragedy, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld publicly stated that the Pentagon couldn't track $2.3 trillion in spending. And then, literally the next day, one day later, the 9/11 tragedy happened and the story was completely overshadowed. Could that missing money, though, have funded these underground projects? There's no way to be sure. This is just a conspiracy theory, but maybe we're not being told something. I mean, this is a rabbit hole people still talk about more than 20 years later. Come over here for longer freaky videos.
She's right on.
Grace. Thank you, Grace. Yeah, I believe that.
She's right on.
And I think they have tunnel systems that go from one coast to the other. So they can get around the entire country without ever coming above ground.
Yeah, this is I reported on by, I think, Richard Sater. He's talked about deep underground military bases, and most recently in a fictional book called 1 Second After, which accounts, it's a fictional story about what happens if an EMP goes off over America and how does societies survive or doesn't survive after everyone loses electronics. It's written about in that book too, and it's fascinating of what they probably do have and how they use it.
All right, so let's do a couple things I think need to be seen, and then we're going to go into overdrive. So here we go. Let me find stuff that I think we can show on here. That will be fine. Let's do this one. I think we can show that. We'll definitely show this one. Here we go. Let's see this one. It's about Steven Seagal.
Seagal might be the most hated person in all of Hollywood, so the next 60 seconds should bring a smile to your face. Seagal's an Aikido master, which is a martial art that has almost zero real-world practicality, because it requires your opponent to essentially be a training dummy. But Seagal believed that being an Aikido master gave him immunity from being choked out, and he let everybody know that. Eventually, one of his stuntmen, judo legend Gene LaBelle, gave Seagal the opportunity to back up his words. And Gene easily slapped slapped on a rare naked choke and put Seagal to sleep, but it wasn't over yet. Seagal shat himself in the process of getting choked out, and when he came to, he saw other stuntmen standing around him and laughing their asses off. And to be fair, Seagal's technique would work in most circumstances. If someone is choking you and you shit yourself, the attacker is probably gonna let go. And to this day, Steven Seagal denies that this story ever happened, which is a sign that it most definitely did, because Seagal does have a 10th degree black belt in lying.
Okay.
Gotta love Steven Seagal.
Can't have enough Steven Seagal shit in his pants stories.
His early movies are the best. They really are.
They really are. And they just think they were the equivalent of the Rock movies today. Here we go. Final video on YouTube. Hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go. I think this is hilariously and crazy.
We're big having a 2-for-1 disabled, but even at the movies, they're still charging me for 2 separate seats. Are you kidding me? They only have one ass.
She's my human service person.
No.
Damn it! I didn't think this through!
Ma'am, you still need to buy them 2 tickets.
The hell are you talking about? My kid is one kid.
Well, I recognize her face, so that means the other one's under there somewhere.
You're being ableist.
Wow, oh my God. What the hell did your shoulder just say? This is my coworker, Melanie, from my office job. She's into Netflix and deviled egg recipes.
That's still your kids.
Suck our dick.
They said ours.
Shit! Abort! Oh, God!
The internet is weird. The internet is, in fact, weird. The gays are great. So, guys, we love ya on YouTube. Sorry, we don't make the rules. We only play the game, okay? So we got to say goodbye to our friends on YouTube. Take care. If you want to see us on Twitter, samtripoli.com or Rumble, it's all right there. We'll see you soon. Thank you, guys. See you next week.